Flat Earth Debate live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now we are joined by Neil, One Deck, Quantum Eraser, and a whole bunch of people in the Flat Earth Debate Politics Discord server, so welcome one and all.
Greetings.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So after a really successful visit yesterday, last week, to the politics server, unfortunately we can't get hold of an official politics server mob to put us up on what they call the stage for a slightly more organised version of what we typically do. But hopefully we'll be back to that, although we only started it, then did it once, and now we're not doing it again. So we've only done it a couple of times. But hopefully next week we'll get into the rhythm and routine of doing it in that way so that it's a lot more organised. But unfortunately for this week, we're just back to how we normally are in politics, which is just kind of a bit of a free-for-all, but with slightly more on-the-ball mods. Not that they're not on the ball anyway, but you know what I mean? They're a bit more conscious of the fact that there's going to be interruptions when people get triggered. So there we go. So we're in the general populace in the peanut gallery of politics today. Hopefully, like I say, we'll return to the intended format next week. But in the meantime, is there anybody with any questions? Feel free. You're going to have to muscle your way in through the moderators. I'm sure they've got an eye on it. It's not quite as slick as having them actually raise their hand and ask a question, but we'll see how you guys do it. I don't know how you'll cope. We'll see. If not, there's going to be a lot of protracted silences in this particular show.
The one I got is interesting about how in the pre-show everyone's talking about celestial navigation, and until this is one of the things I've noticed. As soon as a flat Earth raised a topic, globalists will know nothing about it, and instantly they become an expert in it. Prior to 10th Man bringing up celestial navigation, globalists thought celestial navigation was something they saw in Star Trek, where Spock or whatever busted open the star charts and determined where the Enterprise was based on whatever positions these different stars were. And then all of a sudden 10th Man says, hey, look at the methods and practices used in celestial navigation. It can only work on the flat Earth. And suddenly every globalist is instantly an expert in a career, like a ship's navigator. It's like a six-figure salary position. And they're acting like they've known how to do it the whole time. It's like you never even heard of it before a flat earther said it.
I mean, they will have heard of it because Quantum Eraser had covered it, but in his usual high intellect manner, you'd have to be paying attention rather than looking at the chat. Whereas when 10th did it, it's not that he dumbed it down, it's just he dragged it out to such an extent that it sunk into a lot more people. But it was actually covered quite significantly prior to 10th Man covering it in a lot of detail, admittedly. He was the first to focus on it, just to get the terminology right, because otherwise it sort of demeans QE having covered it in many a presentation prior to that, which he had. Just I didn't.
Oh yeah,
notice.
for sure. I was thinking of the wildfire event. It was people have been talking about this since the beginning of time. All sorts of people have referenced. This is where I think, giving 10th Man the credit, where he basically brought it forefront.
Yes.
He really got the globalists to start questioning, and then rather than using the information and question their ideas and models, they just kind of waved a magic wand and instantly became an expert in it, and then decided that flat earthers can't do celestial navigation.
Right.
When they never heard of it prior to being part of this conversation.
Well, 10th was very smart in the way he did it. So as he was educating us in it, which is literally what he was doing, he chose to only do that in pre-shows. So typically, the pre-show will go out to members and be 10 days late on a second channel that's less subscribed to. So 10,000 subscribers rather than 22, 23 or whatever many this channel's got. Forget, 26 it might be. Anyway, the point is that he would get less listeners, and he did that intentionally, so that by the time it was being discussed on the live show and argued about, everyone on the panel knew about it, was very well versed by the time the discussion starts. So it kind of came across like you've just described to an audience, which is, we start talking about celestial navigation. Actually, we'd been educated in it about 12 months prior in the pre-shows, you know, a little bit at a time by 10th Man. And then when it's like, here's celestial navigation, it proves Earth's flat, then suddenly the ballers with no background, no, you know, 10th Man there dripping in the information on a daily basis, suddenly, as you put it, are experts. You're like, okay, all right, fair enough.
Earth is round, mate.
Say again? Say
The
again,
Earth
Walter?
is round.
Earth is round.
Do you think that the Earth is flat?
That's how it's measured. Are you not keeping up with the discussion?
Also, round and flat aren't mutually exclusive. You can have a round and flat penny, round and flat LP, round and flat CD. Get it?
I understand that analogy.
Cool.
It's
But
not an analogy.
Regardless, Earth's measured flat, though. So for navigation specifically, in this instance.
Navigation, for sure, I understand that. But do you think the Earth is sphere?
No, obviously not. To make it a sphere, you start with those measurements of angles off a flat Earth, and then Kepler can infer sphericity and orbital motions and all the rest of the mathematical extrapolations that come from those flat Earth measurements. So definitely, Earth's not a sphere. You can
No, we
infer
don't think it either. We know it's not a sphere.
If you know how it's measured to create the sphere, you can't even infer or reify that it's a sphere, because you understand it violates the base measurement that you started with to create the sphere with.
So, do you think that the sun is a sphere?
I don't know what the sun is. Doesn't really have much to do with the ground, unless you're navigating with it.
Do you think the moon is a sphere?
I don't know what the moon is either. I don't know. Again, if you're navigating with it, though, it's measured with respect to a flat Earth.
But you know that the Earth is flat.
Turkish prison.
Hold on. Go ahead.
How do you know if the Earth is flat if you don't know what the sun or the moon is?
Sorry, how do I know I'm driving a Ford Escort if you don't know what a Lexus is? Because we're driving a Ford Escort, because we're measuring Earth, the surface, flat. And I said to you 3 times in response to your questions about the sun and moon, if we're measuring those items for navigation, we're measuring them with respect to a flat plane. Anything else? Earth's measured flat.
Yeah, one more thing.
Go ahead.
Do you believe in planets?
Okay.
Be careful, buddy, because you're asking people here if they believe something. We don't just blindly believe anything.
I'm talking about, does he believe in Mercury, Uranus, Saturn,
So we
Pluto?
believe
Yeah,
him.
there's no
Is this
belief
some sort of-
involved, is there? You're describing lights in the sky that we can see, aren't you? Why would I have to believe in anything? They're lights.
Do you think they're real? Bear question.
Sorry, I just answered you. Just repeat back what I just said to you in reply, please.
We can see the lights in the sky.
So why would I need to believe in anything? I can see them.
So they're real in your eyes.
Are you having a laugh? I see them. You've named them. I don't need to believe in anything.
You the wrong wording. But do you think they're flat?
Did I say that they were flat? No. Okay. Do you appreciate that when you look at the stars, you only get a monocular vision to them? Do you appreciate what that means?
I appreciate that.
What does that mean?
monocular vision
Yes.
of the stars? Is that what you said?
Yes. Do you appreciate we have a monocular vision to the stars and what that would mean?
Well, I know that mono means one.
Okay. So not binocular then. Monocular. As opposed to binocular.
Binocular, I'm assuming, means two. Because binocular has two
You
eye
could just
holes.
say I don't really know what you mean by what you're suggesting, because you've said and suggested that you know what I mean by this. Because it's in direct response to your question, but you haven't clicked what my response means. So you could just say, I don't really know the connection between only having monocular vision and being asked if they are, quote, flat. You obviously don't see the connection, do you?
Connection.
That would be a
You
no.
look at one eye through a telescope. One eye sees them up close. Only one. Do you think that one eye can give you depth perception?
Binocular eyes give you depth perception.
And we don't have that to the stars, do we? Just need to
You don't
know.
have that for the stars.
I'm answering your frigging question about them being flat. It's like pulling teeth. You just need to say, no, we don't have stereoscopic vision to them. We don't have binocular vision to them. Monocular only, I understand, yes. Then I'll say, so flat then. Hello? Are you listening to me? I'm responding to your question. Are they flat? Fact, monocular, flat, not three-dimensional, flat. Yes, flat. Does that answer your question? Yes, it does. You just don't seem to be acknowledging it. Meanwhile...
So you believe that the Earth
Sorry,
is flat?
are you going to acknowledge me or ask me yet again what I bleed and believe? Acknowledge what I've answered your question. You haven't acknowledged me. I've taken my time with you dumbass that doesn't understand what monocular means and how it would reference your question about them being flat. You haven't acknowledged that yet. You're asking me a new question about another belief. You, sir, hold many beliefs about these lights. Yeah, you do. Now, what you are doing is projecting the fact that you have beliefs about these lights onto me. As you ask your stupid questions that are inane about whether or not it's flat, and I answer you, yes, monocular vision, you start asking a new question about a different belief, presumably projecting something else you have a belief about. You believe they're spherical. You have no evidence for that. None. Zero. Nada. But you're asking me about whether I believe they're spherical, three-dimensional, when we cannot perceive them in that way. We can't see them like that. We can only see them flat. Now, I'd like you to acknowledge that, given that you asked me about it, and I've taken my time to explain something that you clearly did not understand or comprehend. That would be monocular vision to the stars. Flat. Do you understand?
I understand you.
Do you have any other questions? Hopefully not about beliefs that I hold, because you've got some beliefs about some lights in the sky. But it was lovely talking to you.
I'm sorry.
It was lovely talking to you. Thank you for your questions about my beliefs that I don't hold and you do. Meanwhile, when we measure the celestial items to navigate with them, we measure with respect to a flat Earth. That's how all the maps and models were created.
I'm
Earth's
sorry.
flat. Anybody else?
Yeah.
That was quizzing me on my bleeding beliefs about three-dimensionality with the stars that we don't have. Oh, well, if there's a conclusion, I don't mind taking that air out and going, Earth's measured flat, ladies and gentlemen, including but not limited to the use of angles off a flat Earth to create a sphere for a lot of you Muppets to believe in. Yeah, that's right, your sphere belief comes from flat Earth measurements. Isn't that shocking? Earth's measured flat for everyone.
Don't call me a Muppet.
Good night.
Yeah. I don't see myself as a Muppet, though.
Say again, Nate?
I
You
said I
should.
don't see myself as a Muppet, though.
Okay. How'd you get an elevation angle measurement from a curved surface?
I'm not. I don't want to answer this.
Sorry, you don't feel like a Muppet, but when I ask you how a globe will give you an elevation angle, you don't want to answer. That's because you're a Muppet who believes that you can acquire flat Earth elevation angle measurements from a curved surface that you believe you're standing on, making you a Muppet, Nate. If you don't feel like one,
Well,
if you don't feel like
I
one,
don't.
if you don't feel like one while I get interrupted, I'm telling you why you are a Muppet. Because you can't answer me when we fundamentally require elevation angles to navigate the world, map the world, chart the world, fly over the world. We need these elevation angles off a flat Earth. But when I ask you how they'll come from a curved surface, you don't want to take part. That just makes you, hope it's clear now, a Muppet, Nate. Don't have to like that. It's a fact. Meanwhile, we do get elevation angle measurements. We measure them with respect to a flat Earth. To this day, they've always been made that way. And I mean, people can believe that you can use curved surfaces that won't be utilised with elevation angles. They'll be like on screen for my audience now, used in hell, in the centre, on a plane, a flat plane, in hell that we're not measuring angles from. So when I say, how'd you get a measurement from the curved surface? You don't, and you don't use them that way if you pretend you're in a globe. That's why you can't answer, Muppet. Hope that's clear, Nate.
I'm just not an expert on it.
I didn't ask if you were. I clarified why you're a Muppet to believe you're on a globe after asking you if you could get an elevation angle from a curved surface. You can't. And you wouldn't use it on a curved surface anyway, even if you retain your globe belief and project these angles measured off a flat plane in hell. I just told you quite a few details about what makes you a Muppet. You said you didn't want to take part. Kind of Muppet behaviour is that?
Do you have a degree in physics or?
Sorry, why
Anything
would you ask
similar
that?
to
This
that?
isn't a physics subject. Celestial navigation's not physics. Define physics
Well,
for
don't
me,
dodge
sir.
the question. Though.
Define
I'm
physics
just
for me,
curious.
please.
What?
Define
I asked the question
physics for me. You're asking me if I've
I
got a
asked a
degree
very
in physics.
basic
Now
and
you're yammering
straightforward
through my
question. Now you're
response.
chanting
You've asked me a
through me, and
question,
you're not
and you're still
directly answering.
talking straight through the top of my response. You asked me, sir, do I have a degree in physics? I said it's non sequitur. It's not related to the subject. This isn't a physics subject. It's celestial navigation. That's not physics. Then I asked you, while you yammered through me, to define physics.
I asked the question first.
Yeah, and I said it's a category error.
You can dodge the question, but I asked.
I didn't dodge the question, you dumbass, Muppet, globe-believing idiot who can't listen. Category error. Discussing celestial navigation and asked if I got a degree in physics. Non sequitur. Category error. Third time. Repeat after me. Dumbass question. Category error. Not related to the subject being discussed. Dumbass. You. Clear? Tell me I'm running from the question again, dumbass. Dumbass.
This isn't a very
It's
fruitful
non sequitur.
discussion.
Category error, you stupid man. You want to tell me I'm dodging the question, you stupid idiot?
Here, Nate, if you knew what physics was, you wouldn't have to ask that question.
Maybe
That's
he could
what
define it for us like I asked him, and then we got this. Define physics, you dumbass.
That's a non sequitur.
No, you asked
Word
me if
you
I got a physics degree. So when I ask you to define that, what you're asking if I have, you say it's non sequitur. That makes you a moron. You don't know what a non sequitur is. It's directly related to the specific word you used. How can it be non
It's not
sequitur?
related to what-
And now
it's
he's
not related to what
yammering
you
through
asked
me
him.
because he's getting embarrassed with how stupid he is. And how me, Nathan Oakley, is highlighting just how stupid this globe-believing Muppets question was. It was a category error, a non sequitur category error. And then when I point out that it's a category error and a non sequitur and ask him to define the word he asked me about, he tells me I'm using a non sequitur. Sounds like you're just repeating the coherent and concise rebuttal I gave you, that you said I'd ignored and had run from. And now you're yammerizing through my summary. What a shock. You're a Dumbo.
It's
You're a globe-believing Dumbo. You're getting a strip torn off you by a flat earther for your dumbass question. Hope that's clear.
It's
Donut
funny.
roll.
It's
Donut
funny because
roll.
the law of identity for logic, you need to identify this first.
One more chance, Nate. You gonna answer the question?
What? Why am I the one being
Okay,
asked if
I'm
Because
gonna
you asked me
clarify,
for
yeah.
got a physics degree. Now you're being asked to define what physics is, you stupid man. It's the 5th time.
Yeah,
Tell me it's
not
non sequitur
at
again, you
all,
stupid
mate.
idiot. Tell me that me asking you to define the word you asked me about is non sequitur, you stupid idiot. Go on.
Here,
Tell me it's
Nate,
non
I'll throw
sequitur,
you a
Dumbo.
lifeline.
Tell me it's non
I don't
sequitur, you
think this is
stupid
going to
man.
go anywhere with Nathan. So
Oh,
Hey, Nate,
you
let me
can't
throw
go
you-
anywhere. That's because I've destroyed you. I destroyed your stupid non sequitur question about physics that you can't define.
you destroyed me by not answering the question. You're right.
Right, do I
Hey,
have a
Nate, let me
physics
throw
degree?
you a-
Define what physics is.
Nate, let
Or
me
any
throw
other
you
degree.
a lifeline here. Okay, let me throw you a preserver. You're drowning. Say physics is an object moving through a medium. Just a very junior high-ish response. Like day one, this is your day one in class. And then you'll be able to continue the conversation. Because at least you'll know what you're talking about. You know what you're asking.
I was curious of any degree, really, just anything.
Give him any help.
Nate.
He's a moron.
This is now turning into an ad hominem fallacy, isn't it? That's what's basically happening.
Yeah, he wants to know what your education level is.
Not relevant. It's an ad hominem
Right,
fallacy.
Nate, we're going to give you one more chance. You asked Nathan a question. He clearly answered it. It was non sequitur to the discussion of celestial navigation. You've now raised that question. It's been answered. So now you've been asked to clarify. What is physics? Answer the question, or you're going to have to stay on mute.
Probably going to have to mute me, though. So
Yeah, so you lost badly. You asked a stupid question that was non sequitur to the discussion. Now you're yammering. You're saying you don't want to take part, but you do want to talk through me because you started saying no as I started responding and taking up the sword that I rightfully won, having chopped your head off with it. No, it was non sequitur to the measuring Earth flat that we were discussing. Non sequitur to the angle in hell that we were discussing. This isn't physics, the study of the physical and natural world. Something you couldn't define. Now, elevation angles aren't very natural. Shocking, isn't it? But that's not physics, so we wouldn't need a physics degree. And what is it? Is it just me, or is this Muppet that's just been annihilated and had his head removed feel like he needs to talk when he's just removed himself from the
No,
discussion?
we've got someone else butting in. Sorry, Nathan.
That was not
He can be
me.
next.
Yeah, that's why we would be better on a stage, but obviously for the audience's benefit today, we just couldn't arrange it in that manner. But there's going to be white knights that don't like their compadres' heads coming off that are going to talk while I summarise that he can't take part in the discussion. Because the discussion was about measuring Earth flat. He needed to turn it into an ad hominem fallacy about my education status, didn't he? So it's an ad hom. That's all it is.
Yeah, we
Right,
tried
well-
to do the stage thing. It was just we had some staff turnovers, and there was a little bit of a hiccup in the process. So we kind of dropped the ball. And I hear you. We really wanted to get the stage going again, but it just seemed like it was just too much flux, too many moving pieces going on this week to get it all the way to the goal line.
That's all right. AJ already explained it. It's fine. It's just one of those things. Hopefully next week it'll be on track for doing it that way because it's a change. We did it initially, then we did months of not doing it. Then I was like, can we go back to that? Then we did it that way the last time we came. Yeah, there's going to be a little bit of a hitch to get it back on track that way permanently, hopefully.
Unacceptable.
No, we're guests here. Shh.
Huey.
You'll have to take it up with politics moderators. I'm sorry.
You see,
Huey's banned.
go ahead, whoever that is.
I said Huey is banned anyways.
He's actually not
Yeah,
anymore.
Huey,
I think
take
they've
it up with
unbanned him.
politics moderators.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get it sorted. But for the now, this is it. It's fine. White knighting's just going to have to be the case. Anyway, just to
Well, no,
conclude again, I
I'll,
mean, ultimately that
unmute
was a
him.
big fat non sequitur, as much as we've come to the conclusion with the guy that was an idiot asking a question out of context to ad hom me. Earth was being discussed as being measured flat. We were explaining how the globe came from those flat Earth measurements, and that if you're going to infer an angle that can't come from a curve works somehow with the globe, it'll be working in hell on a flat plane in hell, in the middle of the globe. That's what we were discussing before we had a non sequitur about my education status. Just so we're clear, we're talking about Earth being measured flat for the globe to exist. As I've been discussing it now, there's been lots of diagrams about the flat plane inside hell, with Earth as a glorified protractor, with a flat plane being measured to an angle to this star on screen for my audience. Just so we're back on track and not worried about my education status after he tried to ad hom me. Now we're back on track. Earth's measured flat.
And next up is Lava Girl, who has been the White Knight and been muted.
I don't appreciate you calling me on that night when I wasn't even gonna add to the conversation you having with the other guy. I don't appreciate that at all.
No, you're
Well,
just
you kept
cheerleading.
interjecting into the conversation.
No. The conversation was over. I was gonna ask a simple question.
Okay, feel free.
Feel free, go ahead.
I think the conversation ended when he said that I would like to reply to your question. I wasn't there to write that, just so you understand.
Do you have a question, though?
Yeah, I sure do.
Awesome, go ahead.
So, would you advertise flat Earth to your kids?
They're in the next room. They can hear me.
All right, so do you?
Did you hear my response?
Yeah, so do you?
They can hear me.
These people.
They can hear me.
Dude, if you're going to talk about kids and family and other off-topic issues,
That's
you can
fine.
stay on
He's got his
server.
answer.
I'll give you
If-
one chance.
He's got his answer. They can hear me talking about this stuff. I talk about it regularly around them. Yes.
Yeah, I can just hear in his voice and the way that he's questioning that he's going to try and make this some type of issue, that it's not off topic.
Do they believe your silly nonsense?
Hold on. Let's just see if this guy actually does have a point to get to. I'm not going to assume he's going to
Are
suddenly
your
start
kids smarter than you?
attacking my kids. I think
Are
they
your
might
kids
be.
smarter than you?
Guys, I just want to. That guy might have just been laying a foundation. If that's the case, let's just see if it was the case that he's just trying to lay a foundation with that for a further question, rather than just assuming he's going to attack my kids, which he may not be doing. We don't know yet.
Have I been unmuted?
Yeah. What? I assume you were just laying a foundation with that. Carry on. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, do you homeschool your kids?
Yes. Sorry, can we not talk about my kids anymore? Is there a question about the subject of Earth being measured flat that you want to ask?
Sure. No, that's all I wanted to ask, bro. Love.
Sorry,
So
can I
are
ask
your
you? Can I
kids
ask?
smarter
Can I
than
ask
you?
you a question?
Are the kids smarter than you?
Can I ask?
Yeah,
Can
go
I ask
on.
him a question?
I'm still
Why-
here.
Guy, can I ask you a question? Why are you so interested in my kids in a flat Earth debate server?
I'm interested in the.
Well, I'm
interested
not
in-
interested.
Who's
about
talking
your
through
kids.
this
I was
guy?
just
Somebody's
asking a
talking through this
question
guy.
about
I
how
can't.
you-
There's two people talking while this guy's trying to talk to me. I want to hear him.
Are you talking to me or him?
No, someone's
Honestly.
interrupting you in the
He's talking to
server.
you, lava
You
girl.
can't be heard. You're being talked through by someone else, and I'm asking the mods to stop that from happening so I can hear you, sir. I want to hear you. I'm asking, why are you so interested in what happens to my kids in a flat Earth debate Discord server? I'm asking you that.
That wasn't really about the Discord server. I just wanted to know, like, because obviously flat Earth and globe Earth. I mean, not flat Earth, sphere Earth and globe Earth. It's highly advertised in schools. So I just wanted to see your stance. If you are planning to have kids, sounds like you do have kids already,
These people.
and how you'd go about that. That's what I wanted to know. I was curious.
You want to know how I go about educating my kids? Okay, fine, I'll answer that. When it comes to the general education that most kids in the UK would receive, we have a structure from websites that are approved by government that give us the general structure of how to educate our kids. Do we educate my wife and I, our kids, about heliocentrism? Yes. We also disclaim to them that they are not within their rights to question other people's beliefs, of which heliocentrism is one. I teach them that it's the accepted religion in the UK, and therefore it is not reasonable for them to start questioning the beliefs of others. Why am I getting talked through while I'm answering this question? I don't know what's going on. It's not reasonable for them to question other people's beliefs, heliocentrism being one. Hope that's clear.
I don't know what heliocentrism is.
Helios is a sun god. Helios at the centre would mean sun at centre, as in you're on a ball moving around the sun at the centre of that system. Helios, sun at centre. Like you're on a ball moving around the sun with the sun at the centre. That's the religion that you were taught in school. Being on a ball moving around the sun, that's heliocentric.
I mean, I don't believe that sun is God.
You don't believe that's what it's called?
No, I don't believe that the sun is God in general.
That's the religion I'm not asking you if you believe in it or not. I don't care. It's just what you were taught in school in science class as being true. It's the Copernican model. It's the heliocentric, sun at centre, Earth as a ball moving around the sun that you were taught as being real in science class. It's not. The ideas come from measurements of an Earth that's flat to create those mathematics.
Not science either.
All right, bro. I mean, I don't see it as a religion.
Okay, it came from the Roman Catholic Church. It factually is from Johannes Kepler and Copernicus. The Roman Catholic Church were in charge of all of the astronomies and all the observations and all the maths. It was done under their guidance. It's the Roman Catholic Church's religion. It's their methodology for better predicting where the stars will be. It's called heliocentrism. It has come from the Roman Catholic Church. It is your religion taught to you in Christian churches in the UK. You went to a Church of England school, didn't you, sir?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so you were taught this by the church. It's their religion. You don't have to like that it is a religion. Being on a ball moving around the sun is a religion. You were taught in a church-based school in England from the Roman Catholic Church 500 years ago. It is a religion. You don't have to like it. Earth is factually measured flat. That's how Earth's measured. And those measurements are utilised by the church to create the ball that you believed you were on until about 25 seconds ago.
So can I ask, how do you practice the religion?
It's your religion, not mine. You practice it by coming here and telling me that you think you're on a ball. Or telling your kids that you believe that they're on a ball too. Telling your kids that they're moving around the sun. That's a religion that you'll teach your kids. I won't teach my kids religious beliefs. I'll teach them the belief as a religion and explain how it works, and then tell them that they're not allowed to prejudice other people for holding that belief about moving around the sun as you hold. That's your belief. You tell me how you practice it.
So would you prejudice people that believe the Earth is a globe?
I just made it clear that I teach my kids not to do that. Specifically not to do that. It's your belief. You're entitled to your belief. If you want to believe you're on a ball moving around the sun, you're entitled to that belief that you were taught by the church in the Church of England school you attended.
Cool. I remember
I'm a realist, though. To answer your question, no, I definitely don't believe Earth's anything. I know it's measured flat.
Yeah. I remember the question I was going to ask before I got muted, and I asked about your kids. Do you discuss this topic outside of Discord, like in real life? Maybe like
yes, absolutely. Yes, this is my job. This is what I do for a living. It consumes my entire day. Yes, absolutely.
Like outside of Discord as well.
Yes.
You have rocks in your
When
ears.
people say, "How's work,
Come on,
Nathan?"
what are we going to go on with this forever?
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. It's okay. It's okay. He's allowed to take a time to digest these kinder to him crazy answers. Yes. When someone asks me how's work going, when my brother or sister asks me, they know specifically what I do for a living. Everybody I know knows what I do. Well, that's not quite true. Some of the homeschool classes I take my kids to don't necessarily know what I do. And I wouldn't want them to. Unless they asked, and then I'll tell them.
Cool, boss. It's been nice talking to you, man.
You too. You were misjudged. People assumed you were asking, rather than laying a foundation, that you were somehow going to ad hom my kids. You weren't, and I could detect that. So I'm glad you were very courteous. It was lovely chatting to you too.
Love, bro.
Just keep in mind that on this server we do offer a lot of charitable understanding of the way someone's approaching the conversation. So I mean, it might seem like a lot of anti-flat earthers seem to gravitate towards flat earth spaces. Generally, there's a lot more functionally normal people who are just curious and have like an epistemological or whatever, like a view of the topic. They want to know, hey, how is your world or your day different than mine? And they generally find out it's really not that much different than anyone else's. Flat earthers just don't add in a curve and rotation.
Yeah, I don't like when they come in and first up and just start asking questions about what you teach your kids based on flat earth, yeah?
Nine
Yeah, it's
times
a
out of
little
10, I
off-putting.
just want to give props to AJ, right? 9 times out of 10, you'd have been absolutely spot on. I just detected from the way he was saying it that he wasn't going to go where you normally would have had the opponent go if you hadn't stopped them. So I'm not suggesting that you were doing something wrong. I'm not saying I know I literally said you called it wrong. I don't mean that by that. 99 times out of 100, you'd have been right there.
I'm happy to be
And
wrong, yeah. I just wanted to stop it.
Me too. That was a lovely surprise.
Got out on that.
Yeah, right. It's nice to be
Can I
wrong.
say that?
Again, go ahead.
Can I say that I didn't know you had kids before I asked the question?
Yeah,
Which
that's
I should
why.
have asked.
And that's luckily because of the way you phrased it. That's how I knew you weren't just about to attack my 2 daughters, because you were suggesting it in a way that if you were to have kids, because maybe you think I'm younger than I am, but yeah, I could detect that you weren't just about to go to something that you'd prearranged to attack my kids with. I could tell that was the case by the way you asked that question. Yes,
Are you
just asking
saying you
generally.
could detect? Are you saying that you could detect that he wasn't going in that direction?
I've said it
Don't you
enough
say?
times of a QE. Thanks a bunch. Yes, he's so subtle. Shout out to Uncle Ben. She says, cheers, Nathan.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, is there any scientific evidence for a globe-tard?
Ram Ranch.
What was that, Zenny?
Good morning, guys.
Hey, Chocolate.
Hey, Chocolate.
We're just making greetings here, AJ. But meanwhile, back at the ranch, is there any scientific evidence for a globe-tard?
What causes globe?
What causes globe?
Is he asking for scientific evidence of a globe?
It's a pretty good answer. I've got to be
gravity?
honest. I had to digest it for a second. Does that make sense? Does that work? Yes, it does. What's the cause of globe? Yeah, that's a well-phrased way of demonstrating that you know exactly where the category error and inconsistency in the question lies. Well done. That was good. I like that a lot.
Yes, it was. Very good.
Very.
What's
Who
your
was
name?
that? Who said that? You deserve props. Who said? Casey.
KP.
Well done. Well done.
What the Sigma?
What they say? I missed it.
Can you hear us all smiling? Right. That is the kind of answer that.
Can you
Right.
prove to me why the Earth is flat?
Oh, somebody triggered. Go ahead. Sorry. Say again.
Yeah. What is beyond the ice wall?
What? Who claimed an ice wall?
I swear you flat earthers claim there's an ice wall.
Hold on, Kiwi. Just one second. Let's just get some order. Who are we talking to first of all?
No.
Yeah, someone's hot micing.
No, there's an ice wall.
That's okay. Who are we
And
talking to?
there's like
Daytone. We're trying to get some order. Daytone? Is that who was talking? Oh, he's gone.
Yeah, he left as soon as he got muted. He instantly disconnected.
Oh, was he just here to cause chaos?
Yeah, I think so. He had a really noisy, a lot of the background noise. It sounded like hot mic going on, but
I don't remember anybody claiming an ice wall, so I don't really know what he was on about. Maybe we'll find out if he returns.
He was on about a stereotype fallacy.
Yeah, I know that. I don't quite know how it's going to be arranged. If you do have a question, I'm sure there's a way of indicating that to the moderating team. Or maybe it's just piping up. In the meantime, shout out to Duncan McLeod. Cognitive dissonance causes globe. Equally good, Duncan, but just a little bit later than the guy in the Discord server, as you'd expect as you're paying for it through a super chat. Excellent stuff, rolling in thick and fast. Cognitive dissonance causes globe. Love it.
Was that
I got
a
a question
globe?
about flat Earth. I got a question about flat Earth.
Perfect.
Why lie about this? Like, what's the point? Like, why would NASA and all these other professions lie about the Earth being flat?
Okay.
Like being a globe. Like, what's the point?
Gotcha.
Why would they lie?
Let's just have a little quiz. I am going to answer your question, but first, who can name that fallacy?
Appeal to motive fallacy.
Boom! Kiwi got there first, Flatsy second. Appeal to motivation fallacy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I just don't know why. Like, I mean, you can just call out some fallacies, but like, why lie about it?
That's you're not pulling out a fallacy. It is a fallacy.
Okay, if I approach you, let's just put it into context, because maybe you don't appreciate what that fallacy means. Yeah. If I'm trying to prove to you that you've got a cheating wife, yeah,
Right.
and I show you pictures of her cheating, do you ask me why would she cheat, or do you just accept that she's cheating? Which do you do?
I would accept the fact that she's cheating.
So her motivation for cheating is irrelevant if we're trying to demonstrate that she's cheating, correct?
Yeah, right.
So the motivation is irrelevant. Earth's measured flat. Just so we're clear. That's how the globe...
Yeah, I know, but
I'm answering your question, and there he is immediately chanting through my answer. Yeah, so you've understood your fallacy that you've used. Now you can stop talking. The adults that don't use fallacy are now responding to your question. It's irrelevant and non sequitur. A fallacy. It's irrelevant. Is it just me, or am I getting hot mic straight through the top of my
we got him.
response?
We got him. Sorry. Go ahead. It took a while to find him.
Yeah, of course, because it's painful. Why would they lie? Who cares? We measure Earth flat, and in order to create the globe that you believe in, you will use those flat Earth measurements. Why would they lie? I couldn't care less. Earth's measured flat.
Wrote a song about it.
Okay, but like it's still like a genuine question, is it not? Like,
no, it's an appeal to motivation fallacy.
Can you at least answer my question?
Sorry, so I must address your fallacious... Why am I getting bloody chanting assholes when I respond to this guy? Okay, I'll try that again, hopefully without a bunch of white knights. Immediately someone's talking. Immediately. That's why I want to be on a stage, so that 25 assholes can't immediately interrupt me. No, dumbass. Dumb. Immediately, guy talking, immediately.
It's a moderator talking to you, Nathan.
The guy you're talking to is the one who's hot micing.
Thanks.
I'll give him another chance.
May I respond?
Shut up. You've appealed to motivation. That's a fallacy. You're now demanding that I address your fallacious reasoning. No, you stupid man. When I point out how fallacious your question is, you can either ask a new question, hopefully acknowledge your stupidity with your fallacious question, not demand I friggin' answer it. That just makes you retarded. I hope you understand that I'm pointing out how stupid it is to demand that I address a fallacious question when I've broken down with an example of your married cheating wife, how fallacious it is and why it's fallacious. You now think I must answer it, do you, dumbass? No. Sit down, you're an idiot.
A question is not fallacious.
Is that the same idiot?
No, that was somebody else. That was Lava.
I got a question. No, it wasn't me still, but I do have a question. Yeah. So I just looked up your name on YouTube. Is this being recorded?
Does your name start with an N?
Wait. Were you the guy that debated Dave McKeegan?
No.
Is that a flat Earth question, or is that just you just want to talk to him about life and how it's going?
No, I just want to know, like, is he famous?
I think
Do you have a question about Earth and how flat it is?
Being recorded.
He'll make you famous.
I have a question about Earth and how it's measured flat.
Look up his name on YouTube.
Just remove this guy, please.
You looked up his name. Does it start with an N?
Has anybody got any Earth-related questions?
Nathan, are you on your computer right now?
Right, Hugh, you're a liar. We don't want to talk to you anymore because you lie constantly. Have you got any questions about the nature of Earth? Feel free.
Well, I was going to answer Lava Girl's question and just say, yeah, you're in the presence of royalty.
Call me King Nathan.
I would
Royalty.
Say that I would say that Lava Girl is a catfish because I would think that Lava Girl would be a girl, but it's clearly not.
That's racist.
Thank you. I was thinking the
Amazing.
same thing. You're amazing.
Lots of people just join on their wife's account. That's all that is.
We get it now.
Call me Paula.
I've seen so many weird
All right,
names, I just ignore them now.
Misrepresentation.
Love you,
Taxation
Paula.
without misrepresentation.
Let's just try that once more. Has anybody got any Earth-related questions? Preferably on the subject of either globe belief or flat Earth measurements. That would be ideal.
Stay out of it, Paula.
My bad.
We can give
118
Daniel
people
a
watching.
chance, 'cause I think we
That will not.
In other words, Nathan is saying, does anybody have some curve? Any globers got curve? Because to have a globe, you need some curve. Any of you guys
we're
got
looking-
that?
We want to see demonstration of that drop over distance. Go ahead.
I'm saying chocolate. We know they don't have that.
Were you the flat earther that Flatsy was talking to earlier,
Right.
Killian?
Yes, sir. What's happening, Nathan?
I just didn't know to correct you and Flatsy were doing a really wonderful job. So much so that while you were chatting with each other, I was pointing it out to my wife. I'm like, this is not my server. Listen to these guys chatting. I know obviously know Flatsy, but literally I got a raised eyebrow from my wife as she was listening to you two discussing the stuff at the beginning of the show when I first joined. Because I'm like, should I join in and point out this has got nothing to do with Trig? And then Flatsy said it.
Well, I mean, without looking at understanding trigonometry, flat baselines, sextants, and angles, I was just taking that thinking and extending it further. But so very thankful for the likes of Flatsy and of course yourself that can keep us on the right track so that we can continue to figure out how celestial navigation continues to reinforce the idea of a flat baseline continuously.
Yeah, it's required. It's a prerequisite for the measurement. Part of it.
Happy to
So
have.
you look out our windowsill, we see that the level of our windowsill matches the horizon. And I just keep thinking to myself, the higher I go up, no matter the height of that story that or the height of that building that I'm in, whatever story I'm on, that windowsill continues to match the horizon line. So I'm still looking for the curve.
Be careful. Appears to match. Appears to. It does. You're not wrong.
How do you have a horizon on a globe tard?
Say again, QE.
How do you have a horizon on a globe tard?
You don't.
Can you ask the group, Paula?
Okay, don't literally call me. My wife's name is Paula. I'm not on her account. It does say Nathan Oakley 1980 under my name. Although I quite like being called Paula.
How much slope does a zero slope if a zero slope could slope dope?
Excellent. Right, the slope intercept
was
formula
dope.
deals with the horizon on a globe, doesn't it?
So Nathan, I'm asking a question here. Maybe you can unpack this a little bit. So I went to the CN Tower a few years ago. I got in on the ground floor, and as I was going up the side of the CN Tower, they allow you to you can see out the side through a window looking out. So as we're going up, the higher I went up, the further out that horizon line got from me. Could you possibly maybe explain how that would work on a curve, or if the surface in fact was curved?
It wouldn't. But the fact is that the horizon itself is formed with the ground, right? It's an optical dissolution point, but it's formed with the surface. It's the point where the ground or sea meets the sky, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we could be in a hallway.
Well, as a matter of fact, when you rise up, you are rising above the surface. Ergo, the point where the surface appears to meet the sky, that optical dissolution point, is factually below you. Now, if you're navigating, you must account for that if you're using a tool that acquires horizontal from the horizon. If you're doing it in a dinghy, then there's no correction. You're right on the surface of the water in that instance. But if you're doing it in an aeroplane, then the horizon is below you, just slightly. Right? The angle does widen as you raise an elevation, which pushes the horizon further out. You can see further with a wider angle. but it doesn't change the fact that the ground is still factually below you. Therefore, that point is below you, just slightly. But it doesn't alter a factually true statement that the horizon does appear to rise to eye level.
So if we run a hallway as an example, maybe like in a warehouse where you have an extremely long hallway. Say I decided to lie down in that hallway, so my chin is sitting right on the floor, and I observe off in the distance where the ceiling of that hallway meets the floor of the hallway. There's a line called the horizon, which we understand it to be.
Yep, good example. Great example.
Pardon me?
Where you're going is excellent. Keep going.
Thank you, appreciate it. So then I stand up, right? I gain altitude, and all of a sudden that line of where the ceiling of the hallway meets the floor gets further out. I can see all of a sudden more doorways, perhaps down that hallway. So effectively, what have I done? I've increased my viewing angle, angular resolution, I think. And wouldn't this also be Rayleigh's criterion showing itself?
Yes,
Nathan?
to a degree. Yeah, you might not in a hallway have a point of diffraction. You might not necessarily invoke the Rayleigh criterion, therefore, but your example still sounds perfectly in line with what I'm describing. As you lie on the floor with your eyes as close as you can get them to the floor, you will potentially form a horizon that would take into account the Rayleigh criterion. That is to say, your angle could be so limited that you force the horizon to be much, 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 much closer because of the limited angle. Ergo, when you stand up, that point, the ground that was right next to your eyeballs when you were lying down, is below you. And therefore, with the wider angle, yes, you can see further. You've pushed that point further out. And yes, it will still appear to be parallel with you. But it isn't. The ground is below you, and that is what's forming that point in the distance in the hallway. And that's the same with the horizon. As you're lying on the ground looking at the horizon, you have a very limited angle to the horizon. As you widen the angle, it appears that that's getting higher. It isn't. You're widening your view. As you raise an elevation, the ground's still below you. Therefore, there is something known as dip. And when you use the horizon to establish a horizontal with a sextant, you will utilize the measurement you first took at port, which is how high are you when you make this measurement above the surface of the sea.
Well, you just mentioned sextant and then an elevation plane. Is that where a bubble sextant would come into play?
No. So a bubble sextant eradicates the need to do dip correction because you're establishing a horizontal plane with the bubble. The only reason that functions is because once you establish a horizontal plane with the bubble, any angle measurement will be parallel with the ground. Ergo, the point that you're measuring, be it a GP or your eventual fix for your location, will be parallel with a flat plane below the horizontal plane you establish with the bubble. Earth
Yeah,
must be flat for that to work, in other words.
So just right quick, and I'll withdraw after this flat C. So just to be safe or clear here, when I'm on an elevated viewing plane, I would then use that bubble sextant to correct for that elevated plane
No.
that I'm standing.
No.
Oh,
If
I've
you
misunderstood.
if you're up in an elevated situation, what you need to correct for dip, that's how low the horizon is versus your position, is your height. You need your elevation from sea level to make that correction. If you don't have it, you can't make it. Now, it's not that you use a bubble to make the correction. When you use a bubble sextant, you don't need to make any correction because you've already established a horizontal plane of reference with the bubble. Then when you measure an angle, let's say you're measuring an angle in an aeroplane, and your horizontal plane is established with the bubble, the angle to the star is established with the tool. You then say mark, you then get the time, you write down the angle, you look it up in the almanac, right? Once you find the GP and distance to it, minus from 90 times by 60, that point in the distance, the GP point below the star you just measured, is below or above the plane that you are trying to navigate. Because the plane you established, the horizontal plane of reference you established with the bubble is parallel with the ground. So there's no correction required. The point that you measure in space, that you measured with the bubble as the horizontal line, will have its GP in that instance directly above the exact same point on the ground because all horizontals are parallel with the plane of the surface of Earth.
Thank you for the explanation correction.
It's not simple stuff. It's simple when you know how, but it isn't if you don't. And I can only concisely summarize it thanks to 18 months of 10th man dripping this information into me. But excellent questions, excellent examples, your hall especially. But the horizon drops.
Can I ask my question again?
Yeah, feel free.
Well, you never really answered my question. I mean, why lie about the shape of the Earth? Like, why would they lie about it?
Well, because it's fallacious.
Yeah, why would your wife cheat? Who cares? You're getting divorced. She's cheating on you. She's got another man inside her. Does it matter why?
Are you projecting?
No.
Yeah, it kind of does.
No, it's
So you
just
get the root
it's a
cause of it and
hypothetical.
come fix your marriage.
No, it's a hypothetical example of an appeal to motivation fallacy.
Right, but like I think it's a fair question because I mean the main question is like why are they all doing this?
I don't know, you can
okay,
ponder that.
let's take-
It's
let's
okay,
take-
I
let's take-
understand. It's the third time you've asked the same question, regardless of the response you've had. Yeah, it doesn't matter to you that it's a fallacious question. You, sir, can ponder that all you like. That's for you to ponder. It won't really serve any interest. If you were in a hypothetical divorce court, it wouldn't matter why she did it. You'd still be getting divorced, so who cares?
I mean, at the end of the day, what you're asking is why do liars lie?
Yeah.
I mean, why would you come to us for that? First of all, maybe you should go to the people that are lying.
I wouldn't suggest that either. I mean, that's kind of cuck behaviour. That's like going to the wife that's been caught cheating. Why did you cheat? Why did you do it to me? Why did you do it? You know what liars and cheaters do when they get caught out cheating and lying? They lie and cheat some more. So if you ask them, the liar, why they did it, there's a good chance they'll just lie again. But cucks and idiots go to the liars and start questioning their motivations, regardless of how fallacious it is.
Yeah, Nathan, if I can ask this gentleman a question. If you have the evidence, right, you know hook, line, and sinker, whether it's maybe a video or a picture, right, you have the evidence. Do you really still have to ask the motivation as to why? Really, brother? I'm gonna ask, this is the person that asked the question. Don't go quiet now. Don't run away. We're asking you the question.
I'm muted. Oh, okay, I'm on mute. What was the question? Sorry. What was the
Brother,
question again?
you had the evidence, the photo, the video in your hands of the crime being committed, the person murdering or
Right.
cheating, whatever. You're telling me that you still, from your place, your understanding that you still want to understand the motivation as to the crime taking place. Is this correct?
Yeah, I would. If I had a wife, I'd want to know why she cheated on me. I mean, it seems like a very fair question.
No,
to ask,
that's
is it
fine.
not?
Okay, thank you for your answer. That's wonderful.
Negate the fact that she actually did cheat because you have the evidence in your hand. You viewed her doing it.
Well, no, to help me understand, so I could, probably not get cheated on in the
No,
future.
but it doesn't negate the fact.
Good to understand people's
Doesn't negate the fact that you have the evidence that she did it. Well, we have the evidence that the Earth is flat. It doesn't matter their motivations. You're only assuming why they could be lying to us. Yeah, it's only based off an assumption.
okay.
None of us can tell you why a liar would lie.
We can't look inside
Okay,
their
well,
heads.
let's just take what you're saying as fact. Okay, I admit the Earth is flat. Okay, but
I can tell you.
I'm not allowed to ask why.
One of my panel
I
wants
can
to
tell
offer
you.
an answer. Hold on just one second. Is it Sunny? Danny? Yeah, Brian wants to give you an answer. Feel free, Brian. Go ahead.
Yeah, the reason they lie to you is because they know people like you will believe them. It's that simple. You're the problem.
Right.
Yeah. So there's your answer. Your answer is you. Thanks.
Yeah, and your wife knew she could get away with
There's
it.
no money. But it seems like they're spending a lot of money. They're spending all this money just so they can pull one over us and laugh at us. Haha. Is there any money or financial incentive that they're
You've
spending
assumed
this
that.
much money?
Sorry, is that your claim now? So
I mean, it takes money to.
I heard your question. I heard you. I don't need you to shout through the top of me with a repetition of the same frigging thing. We heard. Yeah, they spend a lot of money. That's absolutely fascinating. But you inserted a motivation of your own to laugh at us, you said. So do you have evidence that they've lied to us about the shape of Earth to laugh at us? Have you got evidence of that? That becomes your claim. Because we didn't say that, you did. So do you have evidence of their motive? Which crystal ball did you look in to get that information?
The same one that the same crystal ball I looked in to find out that you are a cock. To find out that your wife's cheating on you.
She's not.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, that's the
Bye
ad
now.
hominem fallacy. Yeah, we're pointing out your appeal to motivation fallacy, and you're suggesting that my hypothetical example means my wife is cheating on me. No, I'm happily married. She's currently schooling my kids in the next room. No, she's not cheating on me. Regardless, in that hypothetical scenario, the reality is that that ends in divorce. It doesn't matter the motivation, and if you appeal to the cheating wife for a motivation, there's a good chance she'll lie to you. That's the point. But people who are cucks, they grovel at the feet of the cheating wife, don't they? Rather than getting the divorce. Because they don't want the divorce. So they appeal to the motivation. Me, I'd be in a courtroom if my wife were to do that to me. I love her dearly. She loves me dearly. She's brought 2 children to me. She's educating them in the next room. It's just hypothetical, mate. But if you want to turn that into an ad hom, you feel free. It's kind of pathetic.
Yeah, but I mean, he said it himself, right? He would go to the wife because he would want to understand why he was lied to. So he wants understanding from the same people that lied to him. That some people, that's what they want. Let them go get it.
Yeah, go and appeal
ask
to
your
them.
wife.
Exactly. Go ask
That
them.
ain't our problem.
Go ask them so they can lie to you some more and we can laugh at you. Well, is he really going to go to the liars and ask them why they lied? Oh, I wonder what'll happen there.
Also, he said because they spent a lot of money. Was it their personal money that they're spending?
No.
By the way?
It's our money.
Well, I was just about to ask, isn't NASA making cash to a tune of 80 million a day or something to that effect?
To show you cartoons of a magical spinning water ball flying around in a vacuum. It's terrible.
So they're using extorted money to lie to you. Way to point that out. Good job. Thanks, by the way.
Shout out to the flat out truth. It says the earth is measured flat. Motivation is Narnia. Fair enough. Also, shout out to Rob McKenzie for the super sticker. He says, hey you, with a little dancing, looks like a pear. Thank you very much.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, is there any scientific evidence for a globe-tart?
Somebody's got to get this answer correct. My fingers
Somebody
are crossed.
did earlier.
We've got
I was
5 more
just-
minutes. We've actually run over the hour, so we'll take one more question if there is somebody that wants to have a question that's actually a question.
5 more minutes.
Oh, I'm adding 5 more minutes. We've already gone past the hour.
When is flat
1
out
hour.
debate starting?
When we get a question about the nature of Earth as opposed to about our kids.
I thought this was about homeschooling and divorce court.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice one, Brian.
Come on, there's got to be a Earth-related question before we round out this live stream. Come on.
Hey, Baltards, how's that Deuce 7 offsuit working out for you? Go ahead and lay her, just lay her down. We're going to make you lay it down. Okay?
I've decided I'm not playing the game. I'm going to stand up from the table and walk off with my cards.
Do a 3-star fix on a flat Earth.
One more time.
Do a 3-star fix on a flat Earth.
2 or 3 star fix on a flat Earth. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's what they do. Thanks.
Can you do it?
It's Darth's fart. 2 or 3 star fix on a flat Earth. Yeah, that's correct. Thanks.
See how simple that is?
Anything else? That wasn't really a question. It was a statement of fact. Yes, you can acquire a 2 or 3 star fix on a flat Earth. That's right.
No, he said,
do it.
He said, can you do it? Yes.
Yes.
We can.
If need be. I haven't done it.
Oh, that's it. You're disqualified.
Well, shouldn't your question have been, could you do a 3-star fix on the globe?
No, you can't acquire an elevation angle off a curved surface. Duncan McLeod. Oh, I'm going to hand over to Brian. Duncan McLeod says, end with pitch data, Nathan. Never better word spoken via a super chat. Brian, do you want to do the honours?
About what? What do you want me to say?
Say Earth's flat. Pitch data proves it.
Oh yeah, Earth is absolutely flat, proven by pitch data. Official NTSB airline pitch data proves the Earth is flat, as we knew it always would, and we already knew it was flat. But this is irrefutable proof, can't be beaten, unstoppable, flawless victory. It's over.
Can somebody post it in the wherever we're at in their
politics.
chat?
We're in politics Discord server. It's on screen for my audience now. This is pitch data. So this was acquired from an airline disaster. I don't know if you call it a disaster. A fault with an aeroplane, an engine blowout in midair, and they had to land as an emergency
Nobody got
landing.
injured or died or anything. It was just
Nobody died.
One
Nobody
of
got
the
hurt.
engines failed.
Nothing to see here. That's why it's been used.
Yeah, so it's not a disaster.
Okay, yeah, that's why well, okay.
Yeah, disaster would be a major incident.
Disaster
People
for the
died.
plane.
Well, imagine you're the
engine
pilot and you suddenly get your yoke shaking crazily and violent vibrations in the plane and you think you're going to die. At that moment...
Don't you ever appeal to my yoke.
At that moment, you can imagine, just for hypothetical scenarios, just to make what I said make sense, the pilot going, oh my God, this is disastrous. But then it all turned out well in the end.
Show us the curve in the pitch data.
There's no curve in the pitch data.
That's all that
perfect
matters.
timing. What Brian has done in this image, so I'm going to bring up a different image, right? This is us zooming in on the pitch data. And then below it, Brian's got two lines that he's drawn. One is a flat line that references 0. The other is a curved line that references a globe. Which one matches the distance? He's also got the difference in distance. You can just see it at the end of the picture. Oh, no, you can't. Let's just make this a tiny bit smaller.
No, you can't because I have it back to front because I had to reverse the bottom image to make it go left to right like the pitch data because the pitch data is going from left to right.
Fair enough. But in either event, pitch data showing the nose above the horizontal plane of reference for 2 hours of flight. Perfect. Absolutely ideal. This is a flat Earth proof. There is no getting around it with a globe. It's game over.
Yeah, the straight line at the bottom, the horizontal line at the bottom, matches the pitch data. That means that's what the plane is doing.
Do they have it in politics server? Can somebody post it in there?
Yeah, we've got it here. Where do you want it, Master B?
No. We've already got it up on the screen for the audience. We just want your Discord participants to have access to this data. So it's on screen for my audience. Hopefully it's posted in the Discord politics server for them to peruse. Just how flat Earth is. Reference to horizontal, nose up, no dip, not moving around a curve. Earth is flat. Any last words before we round out?
Yes, that is, yes, there are last words. Clarifying, we don't want the link. You could put the link to the article in there, but we want them to see the actual graph from the flight recorder.
Yeah,
it's the PDF that they should get, the PDF.
Yeah, as I had up on screen. As I had up on screen for my live audience, but I'm going to round out. I'm really sorry to talk over the moderators in Discord, but with that, I'm going to say if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, though, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. So another massive thank you to all of you. Smashed the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, joined as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, hit me up on Coffee and PayPal and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.